How are we doing, folks? Hopefully you're having a great day. Here in Michigan, it's been pretty cold, so even if we didn't have to deal with this virus, we wouldn't be playing golf today anyway. So hopefully you're tuning in. You have a chance to learn something new today about your golf swing. The last video that I had, we talked a lot about the first move down and making sure that this hip doesn't move out forward past the impact zone, because a lot of times when it does, we get almost this peel out effect, the hand stays behind, consistency, and all types of issues. We know we really want to have the golf ball in the lever system, leave that hitting area first. Then we want to have more of a rotation feel to get our body down the line rather than feeling like our hip is lunging towards the target. Okay. Another part with this downswing and impact that I see, and we're going to get into a small drill that will help you with this, but I see a lot of golfers, especially those guys that slice and are real steep and are trying to hit the ball a ton, right? I see people as they get to impact, this front foot peels open, okay? Now, we see that on tour sometimes. We see compromised, front pivot, and people having success with it. But I question the consistency of those golfers and when they're doing it and why. I know it's always for a unique reason. For instance, Justin Thomas, he's a smaller guy in stature, and boy, that extra power of lifting that leg and jumping, if he's mindful of a couple other things, really is effective for him. Long drive people that are really trying to, get their momentum through the golf shot, okay? I see that a lot, but where I also don't see it in other sports that I like to emulate with golf, we don't see it when a quarterback is throwing accurately. We see a fairly stable lead foot, okay? When a pitcher is pitching on the mound, he takes a step. That foot is planted, and it becomes an axis for the rest of his body to turn around. The field goal kicker, when he makes his first move in and that foot becomes planted, just like the golfer, that becomes an axis point for him. So if that's compromised, like in the kicking example, and he has to move the foot for some reason, what happens to his result? That's what we're going to talk about today, okay? I'm not going to be one to say that you can't move the foot. I even do it a little bit myself, but as soon as my consistency is off, I know that's a point that if I can work on creating a little more stability, that's going to help me with my consistency, especially with my iron play, all right? So let's switch to our second camera angle here, and we can kind of see the net here, and once again, I see this with young people, and I see it with adults as well. But young people, I see them get the club up here, and a lot of times it's the foot moving all the way away. And anytime we're starting in a certain position, we compromise that by moving our foot, to make impact and to be consistent is going to be extremely difficult. So in those instances, let's see if I have anything that would work here. We'll just use the cone. Normally I'll use a towel. Actually, I think I have one over here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And for my young people, if I see a lot of movement in that foot, and I always exaggerate this, and I love when parents are around because they get an idea of my passion and how much I care about making this fun for kids. But I'll have them take their setup, and I'll put a napkin, a towel like you're seeing here, something on that front foot. And then coach will have them take their setup. And what I'll say is, don't move your front foot. Don't move it. It's stuck in quicksand. And what happens a lot of times for that young person, they still have a very good athletic swing. And the reason they want to move that foot is to create more leverage, right? But if I can get them to hold that foot position and take a swing and just feel that and get some element of result, or they can feel the consistency of the club face being square, now we're making changes, okay? So I love this. You're not doing anything to the physical nature of the golf swing. I'm not doing anything that's too verbal. All I'm doing is saying, take your same golf swing, don't move your lead foot. This helps young people really understand what's moving and why without me having to create a lot of dialogue, okay? This works for adults as well. People that have that issue, as soon as I mark that, they start thinking differently about, okay, I can move, but I can't compromise that particular part of my body. So that's one great way to address that issue. Another one, and I love this one as well for the same reason. Once again, that analogy of the quarterback stepping and throwing, that foot is fairly planted. If we see the pitcher, he takes a step, that foot is planted as he's working through, okay? That's the idea that we want to have when we're swinging our golf club. And it can be difficult for some people, especially if we have a lot of other issues, okay? What I'll tell you is, for one, we never want to move and step away from the original position because this is where we started. And I like this foot, once again, to not be moving too much with the driver with some people. We'll get into that, kind of like, the Justin Thomas example there. But for people that have that issue, have you take your regular dress position. I always start with your regular dress position. Then I want you to move your left foot in and put your right foot on the ball of its feet or on the tippy toes. It really doesn't matter there what you're doing with that right foot. We just want it out of the way for us to feel like our spine angle is centered over the golf ball. And the whole idea with this is for you to take really half swings. You can take full swings. But this is an impact drill designed for you to feel what it feels like to get the golf ball going first, the club head going first, while maintaining the proper position and impact and not compromising this foot. Okay, so I have my students, even without golf balls, practice just extending through and getting their arms to here. Okay, because in my mind, if I can develop this feel of ball and club extending through, then golfer isn't thinking about this leg moving until the club is out here, and he still doesn't think about it, or she doesn't think about it, because that part is stable. That becomes the access point for our golf swing. Okay, so something to think about. Once again, if it's an issue of the foot moving, put a towel, put something on top of it. I've even taken a duct tape strip, put two washers on the end of that duct tape strip where I could put tees in the ground on that foot and help with the stability of that foot. Okay, so something to think about, especially for those that are struggling for consistency. You have the big slice miss one time, you have the big pull miss the next time. The stability of our lower body, our lower half, might be the reason for that. So think about that, give it a try, let me know if it works for you. And remember to follow us on dnagolfinstruction.com, your place for all of our branded apparel and for online instruction at this tough time. So thanks for your support. Continue to watch, and you have a wonderful day.